Hello everybody, welcome to the next video of the Grand Fretboard experiment. This video is going to be a lot of fun and I'm very excited about this idea. This is the second video of the series. Of course, if you really do want to see the introduction, I suggest it. Check out the playlist here. This will take you through everything that I've done so far. I think it is very important to kind of start from the beginning. Now, why use colors to represent our musical alphabet and connect our fretboard with our ear, our ability to improvise, and our ability to read music? Well, one, colors appear around the color wheel in a very easy to memorize and memorable order, as well as they add an element of visualization in learning so that you engage your brain a bit more. And if you can get a picture of these colors in order in your mind while you're musically engaged, you're going to be able to link some things together that are not always very obvious. So the first thing that we really need to understand is our musical alphabet. So let's just take a look at it. You'll see it above me starting on A all the way through G. And after G, guess what happens? It's going to repeat. So we go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And if we're going backwards, we're going G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. It really helps to be able to say this forwards and backwards very quickly. Now, just about everybody can say it forwards, but backwards sometimes is a little tricky. So practice that while you're walking down the sidewalk or driving your car or on the subway or something. Next, let's take a look how we're going to map these to colors, and then I'm going to show you a little bit of a fretboard diagram where these colors are used and you can kind of see the patterns and be able to visualize them. Now, this is just the first video. Again, this is going to be a fairly long series and there's going to be a lot of brain training involved on my website to really utilize this series. So this is kind of a big overview. So above me, you'll see some colors. There are how many colors? 7. 7 in total. We have our 6 primary colors of the color wheel, as well as white at the beginning. White is going to represent what is called a root note, and the colors around it are going to represent the next letters in the alphabet. So if we're going from white to violet, that would be the next letter in the alphabet. Then white to blue, well, that would be 2 letters up. Violet to blue, 1 letter up. So each time you change colors, you're going to change actual letters. The shades of these colors are going to change to reflect what are called sharps and flats, and we'll get to that in a later video. First, I really want you to understand that when you change colors, you are going to be changing notes in the alphabet. So let's test this a little bit. I'm going to make all of these colors and notes disappear. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put the white and violet circle on the screen. So if I, for example, put the note C in the white circle, what would the violet circle contain? D. If I were to put the note A, what would the violet circle contain? B. Now this is something that you can train in a later video that I'm uploading into the exercises playlist. Sorry about my phone there. Sometimes I forget to silence it. Or you can also change it on, you can train this on my website for my paid members. And there's going to be embedded flashcards up there, as well as PDF quizzes that you can print off and fill out. Now, what does this look like on the fretboard? That's going to be really in the next video. This first video, I want you to understand that depending on what letter you put into the white circle, that is what's going to be with the rest of the colors. So of course, if you put B in the first circle, we're going to have different notes coming out from there. Now let's discuss some colors and what is called the chromatic scale, or our chromatic alphabet. Now you're going to see lots of sharps and flats on the screen. The sharp, of course, looking like a hashtag, the flat looking kind of like a weird B. These sharps and flats represent a coloring of our notes and our letters. So if we have the note B and we want to make it a B flat, it's going to change that pitch just slightly lower. If we have the note C and we want to make it a C sharp, it's going to change that pitch slightly higher. In this color scheme, we're going to actually shade our colors darker as they go lower and lighter as they go higher, so that you can also visualize which shade of which letter it is you're going to play. So let's take a look at another kind of quiz bit. Now I have the white circle with our light violet and dark violet. So let's say I want to put C in the first circle there, the white. And according to the chromatic alphabet, I have after that D flat and then D. So if I had a dark violet note after that, it would be D flat, and a light violet note would just be regular D. So let's say I put D into the white circle, and then we have E flat and E coming up next. And we can go even further. Let's take a look at up to a blue circle. So we have D and E. F is going to be our next circle, that dark blue, and F sharp, the light blue. So why doesn't F have a flat? Well, that just has to do with our chromatic alphabet. There are only two pairs of letters that are separated by what's called a half step. The rest have whole steps. So B to C would be a half step. C to D would be a whole step, assuming each and every letter to the next is a half step. So A to A sharp is a half step, A sharp to B is a half step, B to C is a half step, C to C sharp is a half step, C sharp to D is a half step. Everything's a half step in this chromatic alphabet. So when you look at the chromatic alphabet, there are only so many colorings to the different letters that we're going to be able to come up with. And then after that, the pattern just repeats, which is why this is going to be so useful for the fretboard, because there are a lot of frets. And not only is it important to know which frets are which, but it's important to know how they relate to each other. And if you can visualize colors onto that, then you're going to have a much easier time doing it. It becomes actually somewhat less theoretical, and it gives you a little bit of a basis to train your brain on. So the next video in this series is going to be on a different playlist. It's going to be on my exercises playlist, where I'm going to run you through this, and you're going to quiz it mentally for about 5 to 10 minutes. And of course, if you want to help support me and support what I'm doing, and you want some extra brain training, which is really going to help, you can become a member at musicandguitarlessons.com by clicking this here card and going to pricing and getting a basic membership. That's great. I love that. By no means is it necessary, but it's great, and it helps me. And it helps you too. Now the next video is going to train this for you. I want you to understand the way that this musical alphabet is laid out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this fretboard. And as you see, the order of the colors repeats in the same pattern over and over and over again. It just starts on a different part for each pattern in different places. We're also going to learn to hear these colors by listening to sounds and having the color on the screen. We're also going to learn how to improvise through these colors. And we're going to learn how to read music with these colors. I'm very excited about that, where I'm going to be arranging music and I'm going to be coloring the note heads so that you can literally see the music theory in colors as you read through it. So, by all means, comment, share, like. I hope you enjoyed this initial lesson on mapping our notes to colors. And subscribe by clicking here. Have fun, everybody. Definitely do not forget to subscribe and like this video.